Feel the fear and do it anyways. Hey there, how's it going, you guys? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So what are we looking at today with these crazy cryptocurrency markets? Well, they're holding up pretty well, right? We're up 8% right now, looking at 6,700. Are we going to be seeing $7,000? That's the question a lot of people are starting to ask right now. But what's going on in the overall big picture, right? Because I know you guys are tired of hearing about coronavirus and all of that, but it does seem like it has a big part to play in everything that's going on. So where are we at right now? Well, first, stock market started coming down. The Bitcoin price started coming down. People were running for the hills saying, oh my God, this isn't what's supposed to happen. For the last however long you've been in Bitcoin, I've been sitting here waiting for an economic crisis so my Bitcoin will go to the moon because I'm going to trade it in for dollar bills when they're not worth anything at that time and I'll be rich. But it didn't happen. Scared a lot of people. Now, as we see the Fed going ahead and endlessly printing money, doing more than they did in the 2008 bailouts, where Bitcoin came from, we're starting to see Bitcoin price starting to rise. As we see the halving getting closer and closer and closer, where are we going? Well, everything that's going on in the economical system, as we see the world having a little bit of turmoil, as we get closer to that halving, as Bitcoin is definitely going to see more awareness and adoption. You know, before it was kind of hard to say why Bitcoin was going to be $100,000 and beyond without saying, oh, well, just because the supplies last and, you know, money being bad. Now we can point to why the money's bad. Now we can point to specific reasons that are going to start pushing Bitcoin to that $100,000 mark. I'm not here to give financial advice to anybody. I definitely just think that it's a good idea to start getting a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency education and educating yourself about the traditional economic system as we're starting to see cracks in the system, right? As you're home alone or with your loved ones, where are we going to be on the post side of this? What businesses are going to be opening? What's going to be happening? We see the president flip-flopping on his decision based on the facts of the economics, right? Saying that there could be a bigger fallout than the coronavirus itself. Crazy times. I'm glad I'm in Bitcoin. And you know who else is here that's glad that they're in Bitcoin? Is my lovely co-host, Sammy.
Good morning, everyone.
Aren't you glad we're in Bitcoin?
I am.
I received a couple, messages, and they thought that I was bummed out and not really, pro Bitcoin at the time because of how Bitcoin went down at the same time as the markets. And I really wasn't. I definitely was sitting here, the same exact thing I was saying on air. It was a wait and see. I didn't sell any Bitcoin during the downtime. I'm not buying any Bitcoin. I definitely have been preparing myself for quite a while on the sidelines for such an occasion as this.
I mean, we're always a wait and see, like always. So it's pretty easy. Like that is the motto. Okay?
Well, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about my wait and see stance. I mean, if I did buy the dip, the people that did buy the dip, you're doing quite well. That's amazing. I'm glad that things are working out well, that you could spend your disposable cash that you had on hand to purchase more Bitcoin, to have more value in the future. At the time, I didn't know what was going to happen tomorrow or the next day. Didn't know when I was going to have any work. Still don't really have any work. But you know what? Things are starting to look a little better. Definitely getting a lot more used to the situation of rolling with the punches as the information changes hour by hour. But the ideal of Bitcoin coming back up, not being so scared at the flash of the punch in the face as the price dropped. Coming back. I'm standing up. I'm ready to keep going with Bitcoin, ready to keep fighting the good fight, because you know what? We're going to need it more now than we've ever needed it.
Paul Rouleau is here. He says good morning.
Paul Rouleau, my man, I am glad that you are here. Everybody else out there, hit the thumbs up. Let Sammy know that you're in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how you're dealing with this quarantine situation. Beaky man, I'm trying to talk to my friends. I know.
He's like, so am I. All right. HC1 says, great attitude. Josh is here. He says this is a critical moment for Bitcoin.
It is a critical moment. The questions kind of was adoption far enough along? Were people going to be aware of it? But as we see, I mean, the first thing I got here, I just wrote infinite cash fed. So it's just all self-explanatory in that. That is literally the self-fulfilling prophecy that us here in Bitcoin talked about, and the main exact thing that Bitcoin is designed against. Hey, it may feel good to get $1,200 or $3,000 based on your family's economics right now, but really all you're doing is robbing everybody else and the money you have saved and invested already, so that you can have a couple dollars now and everybody else can have a couple dollars now for this situation, which is starting to be topsy-turvy, right? Because the question is dollars or lives, right? And lives were more important at first. Well, that's definitely the politically correct way to go,
Yes.
even though that
Mhm.
never would have stood any other time in the world. Well,
But we are so compassionate and humane now.
now here we are, 11 or 12 days later, and it's looking like dollar over lives.
Oh yes, the cure can't be worse than the sure. Sure. I don't know what that was.
Mating season starting for the peacocks, so that's definitely going to be wonderful for you guys as we get to hear Kalidas and Mary
So
sing their
many
love
different
songs,
noises. Yeah.
because peacocks are definitely quite loud.
Yeah, I actually, when we
For
got,
those of you that have been
yes.
here, you know.
when we got the peacock, we actually didn't know. I mean, they make a good range of 10 different kinds of noises or something, depending on what it is. Now we do. But yes, I thought, like chickens, just buck, 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 or, whatever, one.
I'm just glad the guineas are gone.
Oh.
I couldn't take that air raid siren anymore.
They were awesome, but oh, yeah. I mean, they were some big birds and they were very pretty, but all they did was make some horrible noises. All right, so Josh says that he might spend his Corona check on Bitcoin.
Hey, nice. If you're in an
There you
economical
go.
situation where you don't need the money to be able to go pay back
Right,
the
don't
bills
feed
and the
the
credit
beast.
cards that you're ringing up right now, because I mean, that's what I'm doing. I was like, hey, if things go down, I'd rather have cash on hand and ring up the debt. So everything's been going on a credit card. They send me a check. That's exactly where it's going to go. It's going to pay back the credit card so that I can keep myself in the good credit standing for whatever government's left for however long it's left. Continuing to not utilize my Bitcoin and hodl it for the future.
Zaza is here.
Zaza,
Benjamin is
nice.
here. He says,
Benjamin,
good morning.
buddy, I'm glad that you can make it, my friend.
Paul Rizzo says he picked a great vacation week. UK Bitcoin Master Brian, he's here.
Brian,
Hey!
nice. I'm glad that you can make it, my friend. I know we're over here under the old tree of knowledge again, like we used to, and
It's the only place that the sun does not do anything in the daytime.
I mean, hey, normally this wouldn't happen. We'd all have to be at work.
That
So
is
I was
true.
like, friggin', let's get out here in the good old days of when we all had Bitcoin money.
Oh, Mrs. UK Bitcoin Master is here. She
Oh.
came to listen to the turkey. Well, that's
Awesome.
good because he won't shut up today.
Yeah, Beaky hasn't stopped yet.
Vengeance says peacocks are loud. There are a couple wild ones a few years back, and I was about to become a peacock mass murderer. No, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's acquired taste.
You do. I mean, yes, we get up when the birds get up because there is no choice. I see what the farmers had back in the day because you get a couple of them and there's no choice.
I do have a couple more pieces of news that fade off a little bit from the standard topic. I know that we had a question last time, so that's definitely why I put this in here. We're getting some more news about what's going on with Mt. Gox and the repay.
Whoa.
Looking like you have the option of cash, Bitcoin Cash, or some sort of combination of the two or three that you would like. So in other words, you get to pick your pay.
Right.
Hey, that's great though,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
I mean, I want to pick my pay. And they're going to go ahead and they're going to distribute it in 3 groups. Of course, the people that have the most will get their money first. The people with $2,000 and under will be in the second group. And then the third group, will
Yes,
get theirs.
the scraps.
So we'll see how this all plays out. I mean, we've had fears and FUD and FOMO, right, in the market, both directions of the Mt. Gox money and how it's going to go ahead and sway the Bitcoin price. Well, we've seen a lot of things since then. I mean, we've seen how many Asian Ponzi schemes dumping millions of Bitcoin, suppressing the price at random times already. So I know Mt. Gox was the biggest exchange. I know it was the biggest hack ever, but still, Bitcoin has really cemented itself into a lot of lives, a lot of financial systems, and made its way to where it's at now, tooth and nail, fighting it. Right? I mean, everything under the sun has happened between bad players in the space, forks, FUD, the governments, the regulation. I mean, people bad mouthing the second tier solution that we're working on, saying that it's not even Bitcoin. I mean, all of these things have played a big part in Bitcoin still being here, right? Still fighting for the right to exist, still being that decentralized currency. I mean, as we move into the future and we start looking at the next other little bit I got here was the digital dollar that they're starting to talk
I
about.
thought that was hilarious. Like,
I mean,
oh my Jesus.
it's still the fact that, I mean, we're seeing gas prices under $2 now, right? I mean, I seen gas at like $1.89, $1.97, like that when I was driving through Gainesville the other day and all around the Middleburg area. So the dollar bill is kind of what forced everybody, that you had to buy oil. You had to buy and sell oil in the US dollar bill.
Yeah.
So as the dollar and oil and all of this are starting to become questionable, it means uncertainty, right?
Dude, when everything is becoming questionable
and uncertain.
Uncertain. Am I gonna die from that carton of cereal?
Well, it's just that, all right, a month ago, we were out here, right? We were talking about Bitcoin. We said that we knew Bitcoin was going to go to $100,000. We just couldn't say why or how. We just said we knew that it was going to be because it's a decentralized currency that was going to be needed by the people, right? That's why we're always talking about the revolution, that's the most important part of all of this. Well, this is the beginning of the revolution. This is the reasons that we were talking about.
Millions of Americans are like literally sitting around this country going, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, if you're saying that people can't stay home and not work for a month because it's going to cause more deaths than Corona.
Oh, for the love of God. But
then that just goes to tell me that America has to work or else there's a problem.
Oh yeah, I loved it when our president was all like, we are the greatest nation in the world. We are the strongest economic, but we have to go back to work. So everybody just social distance, okay? And like suck it up. And lots of hand sanitizer. Are you kidding me?
It's just hard, right? When you're a 9-to-5 worker and really all you want to do is you want to do what you're doing right now, right? Because honestly, besides the fact of going out and getting money to pay the bills that I have, I couldn't tell the social distancing is happening. I'm still here with Samantha and Eugene. We're still hanging out on our property. We never see anybody anyways.
All these damn birds.
All these birds still here, just getting extra care, right? We actually went and started building a greenhouse the other day.
For me, yeah. Yes. So, I can't grow plants, but I'm going to learn how.
This is really what I want. This is really what a lot of people want, but they don't want the stress of the money part, right? That's really what's the sucky part right now.
I don't even want money. I just want the stuff that you have to use money for.
Well, as we're only 1% in Bitcoin, maybe this will wake up another percent or two. As they're sitting there saying, really, this doesn't make sense because I got to get back to the job to get the money so that I can try to sit here and do what I'm doing right now. And that's spending time with my loved ones. I always like to think about Indians, right? Could you imagine?
Like Native American.
Yes, Native American Indians. Could you imagine going into, a little Indian town and they're all in their teepees and you're like, oh, you guys got to get up and go to work today or else this village is going to fall apart.
Be like, bro, I am boiling a buffalo right now. I can't do that. What are you talking about?
They're like, we planted our crops months ago and we're chilling here now.
This creek is super awesome with the water.
The kids are fishing.
All right. Zaza says Beaky is his own boy. Beaky is a very awesome turkey.
All right, my question about Beaky now is that we've only had our turkeys, right?
Yeah.
Beaky walks around with the turkey strut 24/7.
Never not. I don't know. Yeah.
And I went and I've seen some other turkeys now. They don't walk around like this. So I don't know why Beaky is constantly like full tail fin, feathers out.
Poofing. This
24/7.
Is half the reason why the gobbling is happening all the time.
All the time.
But I mean, okay. So
not just mating season.
He has tried to catch, because we are thankful enough that in this area there are wild turkeys. And he has jumped out of the vehicle to try to go grab the wild turkeys, right? Well, when we're looking at 30 birds, no one's puffed up and just walking around like Beaky, even when they're the boys. So we're not sure. Maybe he's a super self-conscious boy. I don't know. No, he's no, I'm not feeling it.
Not today.
Okay. That guy says we're all in the house on lockdown with mountains of toilet paper and sanitizer. Ah. Oh, UK Bitcoin Master says it's sunshine where they're at, so that's awesome.
Nice.
I know.
I know
Yes,
the weather has been amazing here in Florida. It's been in the mid
it has.
80s,
It
no
has.
rain, low humidity.
Mrs. UK asked Vention how he was doing, and he says that he is sitting on a ton of preps, powdered eggs, canned butter, milk substitute, which he is kind of reluctant to try. Well, I know that when we lived in Japan, I'm not 100% on why because I was a very little kid, but we didn't get cow milk, so it was carnation and soy milk like
Hmm.
mixed together. It grows on you, Vention. I mean, I don't. I'm not saying it was like milk or awesome, but it did have all of its vitamins and it was milk like. So yeah, you'll be fine. Andy Anderson is here. Silent Lamb is here. Ah, he said, "Good job, you got a big garden. Lockdown here." Yes, we have not actually. Literally, the
Not
county
in our not
over.
in our
Yes.
county. In Appalachia,
So Gainesville's Lake County.
they're on
They're on
lockdown,
lockdown.
and
Yep.
quite a few of the other counties around us, like down in Orlando, they have curfew.
Yes, where if you're not on lockdown, you are at least on some kind of curfew.
Yeah,
We're
but
not
at
on
the same
anything.
time, I don't know. I keep hearing through social media and everything that only the health department is capable of enforcing this. If you get pulled over by a police officer, it's not like they can arrest you and take you to
Yeah, they're
jail.
like, so where are you going? To the
But
grocery store?
then at the same time, I also read in an Orlando newspaper that they arrested a homeless man
Oh yeah, that I
for
thought was
breaking
yes.
curfew. So in other words, the homeless man must have done something to upset the police officer, and the police officer wanted to arrest him, but he technically wasn't doing anything illegal.
Until curfew.
They used the curfew as a reason to be able to arrest him. But I mean, that's a slippery slope there of arresting
Dude.
homeless people in order to move them out of the
Yes,
area.
as your title is a homeless person.
Yeah.
What
Where do you want me to
what
go
home
in
do I
11?
go to, bro? Literally, what home do I go to?
I mean, we know that in America, they're going to be so much red tape after this. Everyone's going to go back and pick apart so much of this and want to sue and counter sue and make laws and regulations. I think it's funny that we're turning backwards. If you're going to start something, stay the course. That's always in trading and cryptocurrency and everything else. That's what we're always trying to say is that if you do something, you make a decision, you want to do something, you stick with it. Flipping halfway through is how you lose everything, right? That's how you go broke. That's how you wash up. That's how you get really upset with yourself because a couple days later, you might not be doing so bad.
Pension asked, "You need a greenhouse in Florida?" I don't think we actually do. I suck at growing any plants. Like I've killed everything.
She
My
wants to
cactus
start a thing for orchids and everything.
Yes.
She has a bunch of them in the house.
But besides that, like we do have a lot of birds, a lot of squirrels, a lot of everything. So I'm going with hopefully the greenhouse will make it so our birds, wild birds, and everything else that is out here won't be eating or killing whatever I'm trying to not kill myself.
Yeah, metal aluminum frame with that clear fiberglass paneling so that the animals won't be able to come in. I mean, I see a squirrel over in the yard right now eating the raspberry bush. So
I hope they actually do make nests around here, but we have a pair of blue jays and cardinals.
Yeah.
Yep, because they come in, they're small enough to fit through all of the wires, so they're like in the pens with everybody eating their food. So I'm hoping that they actually make a nest and maybe, we get a little baby bird somewhere. All right. Bitcoin Jake is here.
Bitcoin Jake, buddy, I am glad that you can make it. I hope you are doing well during this lockdown, my friend. I hope all of you guys are taking this time and prioritizing it, right? Like I had told you guys around here, we were going to start a routine because you didn't want space dementia to set in. But it is definitely, I mean, when do you have time to be able to do more in exploring your cryptocurrency knowledge? How much do you know? Can you get that node up and running? Should you be maybe hiding your Bitcoin a little, making a couple jumps, a couple transactions, Wasabi wallet with a little coin join, right? It never hurts. It never hurts.
Benjamin says that he hasn't bought toilet paper for months. I've been trying to burn through my inventory before the lease is up on the rental house. He's going to have to move into his truck or camper for a while in July. Oh, and then relocate maybe to the south, maybe Arizona or Texas. Right? You do not want to have your TP fort, like, have to put it into. I mean, I understand. You do have to get down there. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of things other than just your butt you can use toilet paper for. I know you can use it for coffee filters. They're not super awesome, but you can. Oh, UK Bitcoin Master says we were told yesterday that we must stay home
Yes,
now
I seen that.
unless traveling to work, doctors, or for an important reason. I don't.
Yeah, the UK was a little bit slower than the rest on, go ahead and enacting some of these lockdowns.
Yeah, but I don't even know anymore because like we're reversing half of our lockdown. So it's like, and I mean like how like Ivan on Texas, like Switzerland, and like half of those, they're nothing. They're not testing anybody. Nobody's on lockdowns. They're just kind of saying, don't be in really large groups. So I don't even know. I don't know. What is the right way, right?
Well, I mean, that's why we're going to have to look back at this in a year when it's all over, right? And then we'll know, right? Then we'll have the answers on what's going on and why it is what it is. And that's what always the problem is that during this, when no one knows, everybody wants to go out and make a rash decision because they think they know or they think that it'll help the outcome. And in reality, there's so much uncertainty that the best thing to do is wait and see. But since we made the decision to go ahead and shut down to be able to help the medical system, right? Because that's what it is for, is to help the medical system be able to handle the influx of patients.
Yeah, so all these people that will need ventilators won't be dying because there is none.
I just remember the little dot thing that they were showing,
and
they had
Thomas's
the quarantine.
Little red dot, gray dot.
And they had the quarantine in China, and then they opened up the wall. I mean, if all the dots stop moving and then all the dots start moving again, isn't that the same as the wall?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. No, I mean, see that is the most asinine part of this is at no point is 2 or 3 weeks going to give them enough either way to see if it's working or not. I mean, China literally had to shut down for a month and a half before they were like, yes, it seems to be doing something.
Here in America, we always like to put on our tinfoil hats, right? That's what that's how they were going. Well, I mean, maybe it's just that they know that the economic system was going down. They needed to create some sort of stimulus plan, and they were like, well, we need a bump in the road so that we can say this is why and that's why, and when it don't work out, this is the event that caused it, so that we can take the pressure off of the people, right? And the things that they've done that have led us down this path. Well, it's easy to say, yeah, well, this is a good reason right here.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously for President Komomo.
President Komomo.
I'm just, No, I mean, seriously, when you listen to his crap and then you listen to Trump's, and it's just like, what is going on here? I think
this is not a political channel,
I could get
Samantha.
a better briefing from my 18-year-old. Just saying.
So what's going on in the chat? What are you guys thinking? I'm glad that you guys come out here and join us this morning. I'm feeling pretty good.
Happy.
Yep. I mean, it sucks that we weren't able to get out here last night, but we were busy.
And it was so hot. And I don't know, man. It was really like we didn't even do much and it was exhausting. It really was. But 95 will do that to you, apparently. All right, where are we at? Zaza says, same here. That's why we switched to mask. I'd rather work on something rather than being stuck sitting around doing nothing. Yeah, I mean, I have one, not even, it's literally just an Asian face mask from like swine flu, Yes, it's not any of the N95nesses or some filtered awesomeness. So
I don't know. I mean, I've been out there on social media trying to drum up business, trying to get things back to going. I'm not really hearing much of anything. Yeah, a couple of people asking questions, trying to get prices. But I mean, a lot of what I see are that I see a lot of car washes that people are doing up to get the bartenders and, you know what I mean? And the restaurants, they're doing them outside.
Yeah.
So that definitely hinders what I got going on.
I mean, we're in a really small area, but like a lot of the big places like Gainesville, Ocala, a lot of the restaurants that are shut down, they're doing like free foods. They're giving away stuff, but that is also it's like free food. But hey, by the way, we're also doing a $10 or a $20 car wash for all the people that are unemployed.
Well, we're also seeing that they told the other day that everybody that's here at Gainesville that doesn't have a spring semester class needs to leave and go home.
Yeah.
That they can't stay on campus anymore. And we're also seeing them say that 100 flights came from New York into Florida and that these people are supposed to be quarantining themselves for 14 days.
Another funny part. Who is in charge of quarantine? Oh, no one. You do it yourself, right? Yeah, because that works out well.
Sorry, I'm just going to reach in that McDonald's window and cough in there at all of them.
No, you just go take somebody to a, middle school dance. chaperone just for the fun of it.
I know that Eugene's not very happy about his senior year being messed up.
No.
You know, born after 9/11.
Yes, literally, he was born in 2001, like literally a week or 2 weeks after. So yes,
You don't get to finish your last 8 weeks of your senior year because of Corona.
he doesn't think he's going to be able to walk.
No.
There is no grad parties. There is no,
Yeah.
you know,
The
at
spring
this
break,
point, there's nothing.
His spring break, the best thing you could do to salvage it was go camping in the Ocala National Forest with his friends.
And that was actually before it even got bad.
Yeah.
This was like the very beginning. So, I mean, I know he doesn't find it funny that people are posting shirts saying, you know, seniors 2020 and the zeros are toilet paper rolls and, you know, saying, oh, that was the year of quarantine. No one is going to think that this was awesome in the end. You know,
so let's stop for a moment. And if everything is about perspective and we talk about the generation that is going to use Bitcoin on a daily life is going to be the children born to Gen Zero, which is Eugene, which is this generation right now.
Oh, he's going to remember how much he hated this year.
Yeah, and he's also going to remember about how he was forced to start learning about and hearing about economics and quantitative easing and how everything changed so much your senior year. I mean, this is really when you start paying attention to dollars, right? When you got to go buy that car and you got to see that, oh, I'm young and insurance costs this. And why did gas just go from $3 to under $2? Right? Well, these are the things that Gen Zero is learning right now. Now, imagine how much they're going to be teaching their children. That's why Bitcoin's going to 100K.
Brian says that he has one of those underlying health conditions, so he's not taking any chances.
I wouldn't either, yeah. Brian. I hope and wish the best for you, my friend. Stay safe.
I love you. It's UK, Bitcoin Master. I love you. Every time I switch to his real name, I love you. We're just going to go, everybody loves you. Okay. Josh asked, how's it going on voice?
I actually haven't posted. I did the first
couple.
What? I did the first couple.
Yeah.
I did the first couple, and then with all of this, I kind of forgot. It fell to the wayside. Too much watching all the governors talk.
Yeah. I don't even.
Samantha hates it now.
Punch in the face.
Yesterday, Samantha decided that she had read an article explaining to me about how if you can't handle all of these conversations, you need to have one shot beforehand.
They were doing an alcohol study, yes, okay?
You need to have one shot beforehand and 2 shots after. No, I thought the
garbage. Okay. We forgot to put our trash out.
We haven't put the trash out yet.
No.
Today's trash day.
I think they got that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you put trash out the day before trash day.
Oh, not us. There's too many animals.
Yeah.
We did that when we moved here. Yep. No.
We were cleaning it up from down the street for days.
Like the whole road. It's like, yeah, we're not going to be those neighbors. No. But we are. All right. So Benjamin says that we've been overdue for another 2008 style recession for a couple years.
This is going to be a lot worse.
He said that's a big part of why he sold his house. Real estate is going to crash. And he thinks that the virus did trigger it. I mean, I don't know. Yes. They never fixed anything.
It's not that the virus triggered it. I think it's more that the world and the U.S. stopped, right?
Yep, he said the virus just triggered what had to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when you miss a payment, right? That's kind of what happened. The world's going to miss one of those 2-week payments.
Well, I mean, it's okay.
The next thing you know, the used car salesman is going to be pulling up in the driveway trying to pick up your ride and take it out here. And you're like, I need that to get to work.
I mean, I don't even know because, like, it is that we never fixed it. So how many times do you get to just put duct tape over, like, the hole in the boat before, guess what? I mean, we're talking about this is 4 times over of quantitative something than like my lifetime.
Well, I mean, that's why it says right here on the top of things to talk about today. And I know everyone else is talking about it. Infinite cash. So, I mean, that's all Bitcoiners need. That is the main point of Bitcoin. This is what we're combating. Everything else is just explanation into it because we're seeing cash inflating. Bitcoin deflationary. Right? Yeah. Which way do you want to go? Well, I may have to pay things in cash, but I definitely want to start keeping my value, money, asset, whatever you'd like to call it, The shit I've worked hard for to accumulate that I didn't go waste at McDonald's is going into Bitcoin.
All right. Just says attitude of gratitude, but 2020 is officially canceled. Convention says he values his senior year. I was so isolated that I dropped out in my senior year and joined the army. I absolutely had to get out of my mother's house. She was driving me nuts. Oh, I'm sure that, yeah, I'm sure that that's our kid's idea, is that he's like, I cannot listen to my mother say one more word. But, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, he doesn't actually care if he walks or all of that. He had asked if we cared, and I mean, yeah, I obviously. So he was like, well, then yeah, I guess I'll, but
I'm glad I didn't pay the deposit on the cap and gown.
that's what I thought too.
They wanted $50 for him to wear a cap and gown and then
To rent it.
to rent it for the day. I thought that was kind of a lot considering that you have to rent it from them and everything else.
Yes, and yeah. Hey, guess what? Score. I mean, I don't know. It is stupid. It is. I know that he has said that a lot of his friends and stuff are really, they're kind of on the, like, some of their parents care and some of their parents don't. Some of their parents are, you can't go anywhere. Some of the parents are, I don't really see you or touch you or talk to you anyways. So how am I going to get it from you?
Today's just today, and we still have a little bit longer until we find out what's going to happen. And if you're here in Florida, I guess we're looking at, they're trying to constrict the regulations further. So as we continue through today and tomorrow, we will see if we get more lockdowns. We will continue to watch to see if the Bitcoin price gets up to $7,000 and beyond. We're going to be moving closer and closer to the halvening. I mean, we should be looking at what? The adjustment will be in another week now. And then that'll give us a more realistic time frame of when the halvening will be because we had such a big drop.
Josh says Katie is filling prescriptions for people with the virus. And he said now they can't even go see his dad because he's 85, just in case. Oh my.
Yes, I know, because as they, of course our faces are all stuck in social media because we're out at home. And when I was reading, I pictured it just by the headline. They were like, imagine you take your grandmother to the hospital. She has corona. You don't get to see her again. Then you get a phone call telling you that she passed away. Alone, right? Because they're not letting visitors in.
Yes, almost all of them are on lockdown for visitors. What the
right? That's what they're talking about. What is the price too high?
Dude, and this is what Trump is talking about, though. Just throw all the young people out to get it. Like, who cares? It's okay. We'll just test you for some antibodies later, right? Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be fine.
The problem with life is that there's no such thing as a right answer. It's different for everyone.
Lionel is here. He says, hi, guys. Hi.
Hey, Lionel.
All right. Zaza says, has our prisoner guest arrived yet? Sadly, no. Friday
at 11.
And if you couldn't tell, Zaza, that was super sarcastic. Sadly, he's not here yet.
Mixed feelings on all of that, family and all of.
I mean, it is what it is. He talks a lot. And I've known him for just as long as I've known you. So there's not a lot to talk about. So it will be what it will be. I'm sure he will be very happy to be out. So.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
Zaza says it. If so, is he sick of hearing about Bitcoin yet? Actually, almost everybody in Eugene's family is pretty much, tired of hearing about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Micah still does appreciate it. I think it's funny when
he's the one that bought some wax when he was here. Like when he's the gambler though, so he was all like, how do I?
Yeah, he was like, what's the newest cryptocurrency I should buy? And this was wax when it was like 25 cents and had first come out. He had bought $100 or something worth of it.
I know he was so proud. I think
he's still holding it.
He was so proud because he was like, I did the math. I saw where it was. I looked at the chart. I see what it's like. I'm gonna and it was like, oh my God, awesome. If nothing else, man, kudos.
Well, we should probably start winding this down. I see that the smoker over there needs to be poked. I got some meat that's going to be going for day number 2 in the smoker. I'm definitely taking advantage of this home lifestyle, right? Because as I tell you guys always, this is what life's really about.
This
right?
is day number 2 of smoking the same weed.
I figured why not? Oh, it's like the 6th. So, I mean.
He has a texture that needs to occur, and until that happens, it's gonna be in the smoker. Because I was like, it's done. He was like, it is not like fall apart. I'm like, it's like 10:30 at night. He's like, well, we started again tomorrow. Yep. Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
Do we got any more in the chat, Samantha?
Pension says that he's concerned for his dad. He is not cautious enough for an 85-year-old. And he has his colloidal silver nebulizer ready. Okay, so he says he is ready if it comes at him, but hopefully it does not visit anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be this ideal of the people that, for you mentioned, what I would think is that, the people that do have to worry, it is to keep them isolated. It is to keep them away from it while they do continue to do the research that they're doing. I know that you're not really a big fan of the Western medicine, but, they got these Z-Packs or whatever. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not concerned with my family being sick, but they are going to have something to start fighting it here eventually. And it's to kind of hold out for something like that to give you a better chance. So for the older people, it is going to suck that you do have to continue to keep isolating, especially if the world, opens its doors again and starts trying to go back to normal. And you really can't, because you're going to want to. You're going to want to fight. You're going to have to fight the urge of going back to normality, because you're actually gambling with your life, because it's you that it's going to take out. And at the end, this ideal of self-reliance and all those, you can't go and say, oh, well, everyone else went out, I went out too. That doesn't work. You got to do everything you can to be here as long as you can. That's all a gift.
Okay, so we're gonna go with UK Brian. Do you
UK.
get that one? Can you figure? Yeah.
My buddy Brian over in London.
He says, cheers. You have a great day and stay safe, everyone.
Yep. I want all of you guys to have a great day. Remember that don't worry about the money, right? Money troubles are always. When aren't there money troubles, right? That's the better question. When can you stay home with your family and not have to worry about anything else?
Zaza says.
Right now.
Yep. Life feels more relaxed here, actually. Like every day is a Saturday. There you go, Zaza. Yes.
I mean, it sucks that they closed the state parks down. I mean, it's beautiful here in Florida, but you know what?
That's the only thing that sucks for
Luckily, my backyard's like the state park.
Yeah, we're pretty state parky.
So I want you guys to go out there, make the best of it. Don't worry about anything. You guys are smart people. You have Bitcoin if things ever got bad. And you know what? I'll catch you on the next side. Keep your BTC safe. Later, guys.
Bye, guys.